Alright, hey guys, this is Instructor Sam's. This video I want to show you how to access your MyMathLab homework and test and other materials. So once you click the Pearson new link, it should take you to your course. If you're a new student, you might have to sign in and create an account and username and password. And again, once you get to the payment screen, you will simply use the Eagle Learning Essential code and paste it in there for access code so you have full access. Once you're in, you will spend most of your time in assignments. So if I click assignments, it shows you all of your assignments. Now, one thing you will know is the due date. The due date shows everything is due at the end of the semester. This is intentional, and it is different from the due date that you see in our Blackboard course. So let me go back. If I go to syllabus and I go to the course calendar, okay, the course calendar shows you the week that we're doing the assignments, and then it has a due date. All chapter 1, 2, and 3 are due the week that we're going to be doing that test. So in the syllabus, it says it is due June 23rd, and this is the date that you need to adhere to. However, I know that life happens, and sometimes you may not be able to complete things on time or at the time that they are due. So in order to provide a little bit of extra flexibility, when life does happen and you get behind, everything will stay open until the end of course. However, you cannot wait until the end to do everything. So you need to, as much as possible, adhere to the syllabus due dates. At these dates, I will enter grades. So I will enter test 1 shortly after June 29th. If you don't take it at that point, it will be a 0 until you do take it. But just do know that is intentional. The due dates are different for that reason, to provide some flexibility. These first few assignments are optional. It tells you optional. This is testing environment. These are the homework problems. So if I click this one, it will take me to homework 1. It shows you how many problems, and I can just click any assignment. Now, once you open an assignment, it is going to grade it automatically. So if I don't even do anything, it's going to show me a grade. And when your grade starts to sync, it may kind of be scary if you see a 0. Just if you say, for example, just open up the assignment and you want to see what's in it, and you just kind of want to look through it and see what you need to get prepared for, so you can kind of go through each question at a time. You are welcome to do that. But once I close this and I go back to my assignments page, it says C score, and usually it puts a 0, but right now I hadn't graded it. And it will continuously grade and update your grade as you do the assignments. Okay, so let me show you a little bit more about this. If you're not familiar with MyMathLab, you have several different things. You have Help Me Solve This, which will solve your problem. I don't recommend doing Help Me Solve This because it'll just solve your problem. It'll mark it wrong, and then you have to do a different one. View an Example is a better option. It will walk you through step by step how to solve the problem. Sometimes it'll give you a clue. Sometimes it'll show you everything, and then you'll do your problem, which should be similar. Same type, just different numbers. You also have Get More Help. You have some videos provided by MyMathLab or Pearson. I prefer you use mine. These, I don't know if they're as helpful. And you also have the textbook. The textbook will just take you to this chapter and section. It will not take you to the specific point in the section that goes over that question. So you can use the textbook to gather more information, some vocabulary terms, and you can see some examples provided throughout the text. So that's one way to access the textbook. Notice that you can do a problem like, let me see one that requires me to input an answer choice. Most of these are graphing. Okay, let's say this one. So let's say that I'm not really sure, and I'm just going to put in the answer. And I'm going to check. It says nope. It will give me several attempts. So if I want to say I think 4 is the answer, check, and then I do it again. The third time it gives me a strike. Okay, but notice I will get multiple attempts on each part. And just so I don't have to keep doing 3 strikes all the way, I'm going to say help me solve this, and it will go ahead and show me all the answers to this problem, and it will solve it for me. So once it does that, it gives me an X on number 9. However, I can ask it to give me a similar problem, which has already done that automatically, and I can still get 100 on every assignment. So just because you get something wrong doesn't mean that that's the end of it. You can do similar problem and try to get it right. Let me see if I just go back to the beginning so you can kind of see that. Is this on the equation? I'm just going to say yes, even though I don't know if that's right or wrong. Okay, so it says it's incorrect. So this is what I want you to see. So right now, number 1 has an X. If I want to try to get it right, I can say similar question, and it will pop up new numbers, and then I can rework the problem and try to get 100%. The only downside to that feature is if you do a question that has multiple parts, like one of the ones we were on, if it has like A, B, C, D part, and let's say that you answer part A correct and part B correct, but let's say I missed part C. If I want to get 100, I would have to do the whole problem completely over. So I would have to do A, B, and C. So the ones I got correct, I would have to do those again in addition to the one that I missed. So just be careful with that. Okay, so that's how you navigate your homework for the most part. Again, I have videos in Blackboard for you already. Again, they are in the homework video section. Your test, you can just go to test, or you can go to assignments, and your tests are just kind of right at the end of those sections, so they're there as well. Notice you get 2 attempts for your test. I take the highest grade, so if you take it and you do good and then you want to take it again to improve, and that second time is lower, it will still take the higher grade. But everything is there. You can do it as fast as you want, but I would try to work at least at the pace of the syllabus or faster, not get behind, because it's hard to catch up once you get behind. You can check your grades from Gradebook. So when you go to Gradebook, it'll show you all the grades and things that you've done. And then I think once you complete a test, you will be able to review that as well in the Gradebook. So once you do a test, you'll be able to go to the Gradebook and review it here. I have a lot more options than you guys do, so don't worry about all of those. You also can access your textbook from eText, which will just open up the complete entire textbook. So inside My Math Lab, the homework will take you just to that section. The eText will take you to the entire textbook. So from here, I can go to any chapter in any section I want from within the textbook, and it's the same that you get from inside of My Math Lab homework. The additional part of this textbook is once you get to the end of the section, just like a regular textbook, it will have some practice problems. I'm trying to get there. Okay, it gives you a summary, and then, okay, so it gives you some practice problems. These are problems that you can use for additional practice. And if you want the answers, you have the option to view the answers to the odd problems only in the table of contents, and you can only access this from the eText. It has answers. You would have to go to the chapter. This is section 1, and you can see it's showing the odd 1, 3, 5. It doesn't show the even ones. But We were in section 3, I want to say. So you just kind of keep flipping through the pages. And so if I was in section 3, I could practice those problems and it will show me the answer to those if I needed some additional practice. So all of those are resources that you can use. So hopefully this is helpful in navigating my math lab and accessing your homework and your test. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out, email, text, or call, or do all three. And I look forward to hearing from you, and hopefully you guys have a great time learning, and that this has been helpful as far as learning how to navigate your course.